money. Landis said if for whatever reason you didn't get your first stimulus check, there's still hope.
The good thing with the new tax law coming out in 2020, 2021 is that you get to balance that out and tell the IRS, hey, I did not receive my stimulus, and you can put that on your tax return and they'll give you that as part of your refund this year.
$49 billion stimulus program to help restaurants and small companies tapped out in just a couple of weeks. Some money going to national hotel and restaurant chains, leading to a backlash and promises from lawmakers to provide more money and oversight. For some, almost too late.
We got a ton of news about the fourth stimulus check, everybody, and Social Security benefits, as well as when you should expect to receive another stimulus payment. So continue watching this video. Beginning in 2023, Social Security beneficiaries will get an 8.7% increase in benefits, better known as COLA. Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, will get theirs in December. And according to Acting Commissioner of the Social Security Administration, as long as you set up your Social Security account online by November, and by the end of the month, you'll be able to see how much your benefits will increase. So be sure to set up your account before the end of the year. It's no secret the Social Security program is in need of reform. The combined Social Security trust funds, the source of benefits paid to retirees, survivors, and disabled individuals, are on track to be depleted by 2035. According to the Senior Citizens League, to make matters worse, benefits have actually lost 40% of their buying power since the year 2000. But beneficiaries are also battling another problem, and that's taxes. The number of beneficiaries who owe taxes on their Social Security checks has risen rapidly over the last few decades. And with a massive cost of living adjustment coming in 2023, some seniors will see a larger tax bill in 2024. Social Security COLAs are intended to protect the buying power of benefits from inflation. Last year, followed from the crisis, loose monetary policy, and stimulus checks, supply chain disruptions sent inflation soaring. That led to an even higher 5.9% COLA in 2022, the largest adjustment since 1981. But inflation has continued to gain momentum. This year, 65 million Americans on Social Security are on pace to see an even bigger Social Security check this year. COLAs are also intended to protect the buying power of benefits from inflation. So in 1984, everybody, the federal government began taxing Social Security benefits following bipartisan control and approval of legislation in Congress. Initially, people who met the income threshold had to pay taxes on 50% of their Social Security benefit, but a second threshold was added in 1993, beyond which 85% of benefits were subject to taxation. Oddly, neither threshold has been adjusted for inflation, and that has created a problem. In 1984, less than 10% of beneficiaries actually owe taxes on their benefits, but each COLA since that time has pushed more seniors over the income threshold. As a result, 47% of beneficiaries owe taxes on Social Security income in 2010, and that figure is expected to reach 58% by 2030. Unfortunately, a massive COLA in 2023 will only reinforce that trend, that some beneficiaries will have to pay taxes on benefits for the first time in 2024. And those who already pay taxes and benefits could see an even bigger tax bill. Democrats look at the $1 trillion a year Social Security program and see their party's legacy, a key piece of the country's economic safety net. In the final weeks before the midterm elections, Democrats are ringing the alarm that Republicans will gut the program. But some Democrats are proposing new legislation, and some people introduced the Protecting and Preserving Social Security Act. The legislation would strengthen Social Security and increase its financial state and ensure that seniors could benefit from the program. The bill will make significant progress toward extending the Social Security timeline. According to the SSA office, the Protecting and Preserving Social Security Act is expected to extend the date of projected depletion of trust fund reserves from 2035 to 2052. The bill would also reduce the federal deficit by approximately $12 trillion by the end of the 75-year projection period.
They deserve to retire with dignity and peace of mind, and that's how it should be in the United States of America. Some of you are so on Social Security, or your parents or your grandparents are. They earned it. They earned every single paycheck. They put money in since they were teenagers to pay for Social Security. And those are more than government programs. They're a promise we made as a country to work hard and contribute. When it comes time to retire, we're going to be there for you. We're going to be there for the basic needs. That's been a rock-solid guarantee, an ironclad commitment. Generations of Americans have counted on it, and it works. The number of elderly people living in poverty has plummeted since Social Security was created. It's transformed millions of people's lives.
The legislation, along other things with other bills proposed, could still be amended during the current legislative session. House Republicans will have a say in the process, with their own proposal mirroring Holcomb's $1 billion tax relief plan. In a statement, the House Speaker reiterated the House leadership would push for refunds. He said Indiana residents need help now, and Indiana is in a position to give them back their money. In the first week of session, House Republicans will prioritize legislation authorizing another round of automatic taxpayer refunds. Holcomb has proposed that Indiana taxpayers receive a $225 refund. That refund will be in addition to the $125 automatic refund taxpayers received upon filing their 2022 taxes as a result of higher than expected revenues late fiscal year. The governor stated this refund is not like the trillions of federal dollars that are printed out of thin air and pumped into the national economy for months on end. These funds are already earned by taxpayers. Chuck Schumer and West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin released an outline of a tax, climate, and healthcare deal on Wednesday, and what could prove to be a major breakthrough after weeks of negotiations. The proposal would raise an estimated $740 billion, with revenues going to fund climate and health initiatives, as well as to reduce the budget deficit. While it would amount to the biggest tax hike in years, it's far removed from the comprehensive progressive revamp of the tax code the Biden administration once hoped for. It remains unclear whether the deal would be backed by the full Democratic caucus in the 50-50 Senate. It would also need to pass the House, while progressives sought a much bigger plan. Democrats are aiming to vote on the so-called reconciliation bill, which needs a simple majority to pass. The bill would direct the government to negotiate with drug makers for lower prices on certain medicines and cap what seniors pay on Medicare for prices each year of $2,000. The measure also requires pharmaceutical companies to rebate Medicare if they raise the price of the prescription more than just account for inflation. Bad news, inflation is continuing to rise, along with the rising cost of living across the country. Lawmakers like Chuck Schumer are aiming to get President Biden's new bill passed as soon as possible. But Kirsten Sinema has announced some new changes that she wants to be made.
Americans who believe that they may have to take up arms against their own government in order to accomplish what they think needs to be done. Madam President, all of this speaks to a very, very dangerous moment for American democracy, and in a number of ways it resembles the conditions that existed in Europe in the 1920s and early 1930s, which led to fascism and totalitarianism. In other words, at a time when so many of our people are hurting, many of them no longer believe that in our democratic system, government is capable of responding to their needs, and they are losing faith in our democracy. The people of this country believe, and in my view correctly, that we have a corrupt political system dominated by the wealthy and the powerful, and that we have a rigged economy in which large corporations are seeing huge profits, in some cases heaviest profits ever